Welcome in to this video. Today, I am all strapped in here with the guitar. This guitar I got from the trash, actually, and I colored it myself. This is a Heartfield Talon. But today's video, I'm going to show you my pedal board. I got to give a shout out to Bluesman Vintage there in down here, right by our church, actually. It's right next door. And he set this up. I mean, I kind of fixed it up a little bit, and I was like at a stopping point, and he fixed it up, tweaked it up, I think he did a fret job, hooked up the electronics, everything like that. Today I'm showing you my pedal board, which I believe is right there, and I'm going to talk about Worship Tone. But first of all, I'm going to just jam for a minute, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff I could do with these pedals down here. Now it looks kind of complicated, but it's not super there's more pedals down there than you actually need, okay? There's more pedals than you need. Also, I'm just released a new group today, volunteer worship leaders, I think, and I'm going to be posting on there to help you guys out. Just anything I want to do, because I'm working with my youth band and the big band, helping out in the media, and I'm going to start posting mostly probably stuff we're doing in my youth band, because that pertains to a lot of small church stuff, and you guys are wanting to get better, which is the point, right? Get better, get better, get better. All right, so I'm going to throw this down, and then I'm going to show you my pedals one by one, what my signal chain is. And it's not a Helix. It's not a big computer thing. It's not a big. It's not all that. It's some real pedals. They act differently going into my mixer, so they sound a little different. But going into the main house, into an amp and into a mic, everything's different. Okay, it's all of it changes every time we do it. But the most important part is that you're doing the right stuff for you to get your tone, whatever. My tone, I like. And I'm also getting to play my guitar here for the first time. So let's check this out. Here's what I'm going to do. I think that's going to be it right there. I'm putting a loop down. All right, so that's my loop down. So check this out. This is just a simple looper pedal. And this pedal right here, this red pedal, I like that pedal because it is a octave pedal. Do I use it at worship? I don't know that I've used it yet. But if you can hear the octave here. You can hear it kind of doing a little octave. It actually will do more than just that. It'll actually do... It adds a really cool kind of, like, synthy tone to this sound. Now this is just my basic clean tone. I'm going to get to it all. I'm going to have a little fun first though, so you're going to have to hang in there. You hear how I can add in this little cheap pedal. It adds in a low octave, I think is what I'm doing now. But you can actually add in a high octave. You can mix the octave. You can add in other stuff too. Anyway, I get on these videos, my brain starts to melt. You can add in whatever you want to. I'm not going to mess with it. I like it right there, okay? I added in an octave, but you can add in a fifth, a third, a second, a minor. It's weird. It sounds weird, but this sounds nice. I like to get that low, hear that low extra. So I'm going to turn this pedal off for now, and then I'll go through my basic setup. So this is my basic clean tone. Now, how I'm getting my clean tone, and so hang in with me. Like I said, I'm going to give you a good tour of what I'm thinking about my pedal board and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So just look down here, and I'll show you. First of all, I'm coming into a graphic equalizer, and I got that just because my guitar sounds a little funky sometimes. I play a Strat, and so I wanted to be able to tame it down. I go right into my tuner, which you got to have a tuner, just because everybody's always going out of tune. Out of my tuner, I'm going to go into this Dynacomp, okay, my Mxr Compressor. It's right up here on the very top, Mxr Compressor Dynacomp. Now that gives me a chimey sound, and a lot of people, I run my compressor the whole time right now, okay, because it just gives a nice sustain. That does sound a little spanky. In other words, if you're like into Brad Paisley, you hear that little country. It does sound like that, but that's fine. You know what I mean? What does it sound like without the compressor? It sounds a little more open. I'm kind of choking my tone with the compressor on purpose, but I like it because when I do like a little. My guitar, I can hear it kind of sustaining out, sort of ringing better. It kind of compresses and sustains. I feel like I can just hit a note and it just sort of hangs in there. And so I don't mind the spankiness. I kind of like the spanky sound, so I'm going to keep it. Then what I'm doing down here on my board is I go for my compressor. I believe I go straight into, and I'm not going to talk about the order right here because I kind of forget if I went to my delay, but let's talk about my delay and reverbs will come next. But we'll talk about, I'm in this American Joyo, and it's just basically like an amp simulator. So that I just got from my studio. So when I'm on Sunday, I just use this MAGA pedal, Green Child pedal, and it's just a good drive pedal. So it just gives me a good, it's just basically distortion. And then I have 3 up there, but that's not the point. I usually use only 1 or possibly 2, which I think they call that like gain stacking or something. That's fine, but what I'm looking for is a really just crunchy, for me, this is my video, in my opinion. It's not like a lot of modern worship stuff is a lot different than this to me. I just like a good old rock and roll, like almost, I hate to say it, but like AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, just good, crunchy, not super overdriven, but good crunchy. And I think if I get all my pickups right, then it's almost the way I like it here in this video. It's better through an amp, okay, but whatever. It's better through the amp, but it sounds pretty good here. A little stale on the video, but you still get the idea. There's crunchy gain, and then and that's what I use. I use that one setting, and then when I'm doing like maybe a lead, somebody asked me to do a lead boost, so I might use this second pedal, which is like the tube screamer, but it's like the tube screamer's kind of gnarly. I don't know. It's okay, so I might use it or I might not. Just depends on how it sounds on the stage. In general, though, I'm looking for a good. I grew up kind of being a one pedal guy, like one amp, clean, dirty. I did everything with that. So I want more simplicity. So I get a good crunchy tone, enough gain to feel like it's really nice, and then I'll use my volume pot right here. Okay, this volume pedal pot right here. I don't have a volume pedal. Okay, so if I want less gain, I just roll it down like that, just a little bit, until it cleans up. I play dynamically and I roll it down. So just with a little bit of rolling on my volume pot. Then I can roll up. So you can see that's what I'm doing. I'm like maybe during the verses, if I'm doing, I might roll it down just a little bit. It's getting a little cleaner, and then I can bring it up. Okay, and so my amp does react quite a bit better to this than my studio, my live board here. This is a little stale, like I said, the sound you're hearing. But when you're in an amp and you get it set up right, you can actually clean it up a lot just by rolling your volume pot down. And then rolling it up, you can really drive the amp. That's the point, okay? And I'm trying to use that in my studio. That's why the Joyo and then this red box, which is this little red thing over here. It's sort of like a direct box thing. It's okay. The point is you get yourself a good gain that you like, and then you use your pickups and your roll off to give yourself as much tone as you want, okay? I will tell you about the pedals I'm real excited about because gain stage is sort of one of those things where it's going to change. You know, you might throw. I got the MAGA pedal, kind of like during a time. It's a green child. It's a clone. So it sounds good. Anyway, your pickups and your guitar make all the difference. So my Strat, it really works well with these pedals into the amp. This guitar is a little flatter, I think. But let's look at what I can do with just that, and then I'll go into some of the reverb pedals. Here's what I can do with that. If I got my little loop. So I can kind of clean up my leads if I want. Now I haven't touched any of my settings except for my volume pot on my guitar. So I go roll it down. And I can get a little chimey, a real nice chimey. Up on my neck, so I'm on the neck with a little chimey. If I want a little grittier lead, I can throw it down to my bridge and then pull up all my gain. Get fancy, I can throw in my little octave pedal. I can clean that up by just rolling my volume pedal down. Volume pot. All right, so let's see if we can cut that off. All right, so that's just basic stuff. Now I want to get into the next layer of my pedals. If you're hanging in on this, because the next layer of my pedals is what I really think it's where the ooh, it's the ooh, because that's pretty good. That's a distorted guitar tone, a pretty good one. It's not like the most amazing thing I've ever heard. All right, but you get to the next layer, then you get to the ooh factor. That's when people start to go like, oh, that sounds really good. It's the delays and reverbs, and I have two reverbs. One's the RV5, so it's down here on the bottom right here, RV5, and I just leave it on modulate, and it was on already, so it's not really doing a lot. It just sort of creates this like modulated reverb sound. So here's what it is with it. Here, I'll turn off that crazy pedal. And actually they were both on that whole time, but they're in sort of like the low mode. That's really dry. going to turn on the RV5. Now, RV5 kind of like modulates it, and it's just on there. It's like a color. It's like a color. Okay, so that's the one I use there. If I could get this to, this is a locking trim guitar. I know I've got a lot of bright colors. If I can get this thing to stay in tune. I feel like it sort of goes out of tune with my body heat, but. Alright, so let's put the color on. The real color comes with my Mxr 300 Reverb, which is that pedal up here. Thanks to my wife for Christmas for doing that. But also, the pedal you can't see, it's just out of the frame. It's right here. It is a pedal that is an expression pedal. So if I play this pedal, that's my normal reverb. It's kind of reverby. But if I push this up, now I pushed it all the way up. Now that is a long tail. So that's kind of the secret to my, that's kind of my secret I found, to create a lot of, with very small stuff you can create a lot of, because this is a pedal that will give you reverb, low amount of reverb on the heel. So when you have it all the way down like this, it's a very low reverb. And when you push it up, then you can bring it back down. So in one swoop of your foot, you can actually go to like cavernous reverb, and you can decide how much of that toe is going to be in the cavern. So in other words, how much when you push the toe down, go to the toe, how big is it going to be? And it's only about 75% right now. It could be bigger. Let me make it a little bigger. So in order to do that, I'll go back to the toe. So it's now it's very low. Then if I push my toe, all right. So let me work some of that out. I'll show you what I can do with that. I mean, it's a lot more. It's a lot more. Okay, it's a lot. It's a lot more stuff, and that's not even. I haven't even touched the delay yet. The delay's not even up there yet. So let's show what you can do with that. So in the setting of. So you can just kind of play some open chords. Then you can push the toe down. Here we go. I went up to my neck position and I turned my volume knob down pretty good. You can also swell up here. Kind of layer some swells. So again, I don't use a volume pedal. All of my swells are right here. I kind of hit the note first, and then I So you can do that with that thing, and then you can come straight back into, you know, when it's time, you can just push down to your heel. Sorry, I haven't done this yet because I don't use a whammy bar at church. So you got a big cavern. You can do your swells. You can do all that. Let's cut that out there. All right, so then let's go. That's all like. So now my vocals here just really dry compared to that. Sounds like I'm in a big cavern. So you can use that. I use that. I think it's probably the best thing. And in the room and through the amp, it sounds bigger and softer. I mean, in my ears, and of course in my in-ears right here with this mixer, it sounds kind of flat. So maybe it sounds great on the internet. I don't know. But it would sound better to me, I think, if it were all. It would sound better to me, I think, if it was just through the amp and in the room and all that stuff. So. But you can also work with that MXR. You can work with it to blend your regular tone with the other tone, so you can just hear nothing but the hall instead of the attack. So that's kind of cool. You can create really ethereal stuff with that, and that's one pedal. The other pedal I have on here is a Giga Delay DD20, and you know it's not like I don't really do that much with delay. You can do a lot with delay. I don't do a ton with it. I just leave it. Let's see, turn that bad boy on. So I kind of leave it as sort of a tail kind of. I just kind of use it to fatten up the sound in general. So now if I'm playing, you know, like a rhythm, I'll kind of tap in the tempo. And I have a tapper here. Yeah, there's. So, and I can tap it slower. Whatever you want to do with that, but I usually tap it to the tempo of the song, and I usually leave it there. I could do a different one here. So with that one, it just kind of adds a little bit of, well, delay, and it just makes it kind of sound cool. I'm not doing a ton of delay tricks. I'm not spending enough time with my delay pedal. Really, I probably should spend more time with it. But I just make sure it's in tempo, and usually I'm using a dotted eighth note or like a quarter note even, just to give it I kind of like how it trails off at the end of in songs when it, you know, it kind of gives it sort of a, ooh, people like that. You know what? It's just flashy stuff. And the more delay, the better. If you're doing doing like a little lead. So it'll brighten up your it will brighten up the lead. It will give it a little more depth. It'll give it a little maybe not as much cut, but it makes it more awesome. So you can do, if I was doing that lead, we did great things. If I was doing that, I would throw up the toe on the reverb and I would tap in the tempo. If I wanted to be more bluesy, I'd throw there, but usually I'm trying to cut through, so I'm going to stay on my bridge. And that was only at half volume, so if I really want to cut through the band, I would throw a little bit of verb out there to make it like more ethereal, but then I would put my gain all the way up with my right hand, and I would go. I would not do that. No, I would not do that. I would do this. So you can kind of hear it. It's in there a little bit, but it's not like a huge amount. What I have learned though from playing at different places and working with different guitar techs and producers, when you're on stage, the gain I have right here is okay. It's not quite enough gain, because you think that you're in church and you should not have so much gain. For some reason, we have this feeling like, oh, it's going to blow people's heads off. That's not true, because once the band gets going, the gain sort of gets lost inside the mix. So the times where I was being produced by the other guitar tech, it was like he was always asking me, turn more gain up, turn more gain, more. And I was like, whoa, are you kidding? I'm like already like at 70%. And he's like, no, it's got to cut. So the more gain would cut through like all the pads and all the other stuff that was in the band. That's not true for every church. Now, if you're a small church and they're not used to electric guitar, probably less gain is better. It's probably better to have it, like just a dirty AC/DC kind of southern rock kind of feel. You don't want to go crazy. I don't even know if I can go crazy on my pedals. I'm not even sure. I'm sure I could get a lot more gain. But I don't have a high gain setting. I do have a couple pedals that are not on this board that are like super rock pedals. They would give me more gain, but nobody would want to hear it. So it's more of a drive, more of a deeper drive. So here's the pedal board again. So that's just some of the ideas that I have there. If you want to get even more gain than that, then you could turn on this Ibanez. See, it got a little more compressed and a little more gainy. So that's more buzzy. And I turn that off. So I do that sometimes. I'll use that tube screamer, especially on some of those songs that are where they want like a really cutting lead. I do. That's a nicer, buzzier lead. It's a little more buzzy, and if you turn on my octave thing. I don't know. This kind of sounds funny doing it like that. But if you want more of and that was even on my neck pickup. So if you're on your neck pickup, it's gonna sound less. It's gonna sound more bluesy. Actually, I like that tone. It's got grit, but it's not. But it's. It's a little too chimey, and it's because it's on the neck, like more round and chimey. If you want it to really cut through a band, you've got to keep more brighter. See, that's more buzzy. That's cuttier. Not quite. See, that'll cut, but it's not like high super overdrive. It's not super. It's chimey and distortion-y, but not like. Oh man, this fretboard is when I don't know, this high string bothers me. Right now I got to figure out how to get used to it. It's real close to the fret. Real close to the edge of the fretboard. So my finger flips off that. But that's all three distortion pedals. But when you get your amp set up and everything going fine, you're fine. If you want to go direct and you got one of those direct pedals like Helix, Line 6, you're going to dial all this in and plug it in. And it's going to sound generally like it does. If you're on a pedal board like this, you're going to have to set it all up and then plug it into an amp. And the amp is going to change what it feels like. So I always get there early. And I always turn on the amp, set it on stage, dial it in with my face near the amp, and then we can put the amp backstage or something. But if I want a good tone, I've got to get there with the amp, plug my pedals in, dial them in, know what happens, know what's going to happen when I dial my my volume knob down. I know it's going to sort of take out some grit, and I get that it's a little balance that I want, and then I'm like, okay, we can put the amp back in the amp box. And then I know what it's going to do. This is all about artistically controlling your guitar, what pickups, what pedals. But I've done some other videos that are just like, I did a video called like the three pedals I use. If I was going to pick 3 pedals off my board to use, I would literally just take my Maga Drive or my Joyo, whichever distortion or gain pedal I want, whatever you want to call them, overdrive, distortion. I'm not going to get into that right now. Just basically take in your drive pedal, and then I would take my Mxr, my reverb pedal, and I would probably take my delay pedal. Just that would be the 3. That's like for when I'm doing youth band. I think I only have 3 pedals on that board, and one's a drive. Well, it's a distortion pedal, technically a full out distortion pedal, and then one is a little reverb pedal, and one's a little delay pedal. They're just like cheap pedals, and I just plug them all in, and then you've got a little bit of the icing on the cake, and you've got a good sound you can make. So a lot of my pedals, and I've noticed that, and I'll talk about that here before, a lot of the pedals down there, at least the front end and the back end pedals, so the ones on this side over here on the front, and the ones I would call that front, and then the back of the board over there are pedals that are not even doing anything other than sonically improving my sound, hopefully. And I'll show you what those. The Mxr Compressor, which is down here, right here, that one is compressing, and my equalizer is just equalizing, okay? And then my tuner is just tuning, so it's not making any change in the sound. And then my loop pedal, that's not making any change. But over here, I have 2 pedals that were key to what I was working on. And one's called the Sonic Stomp. It's Sonic Maximizer, basically. Okay, it's this one right here, the little tiny pedal. It just makes everything sound sweeter, that's all. And the red box is just a direct box, basically. So a lot of these pedals, if you look at this whole board, care has been taken. A lot of my focus has been sort of processing the quality tone. So the compressor, and then the Sonic Maximizer. So I got the compressor in the beginning, in the front side, and then towards the, I don't know if I want to call it front or back, but in the first part of the chain, I have the compressor and sort of the equalizer, sort of like shaping the tone. And then at the end of the board, the Sonic Maximizer in the direct box is kind of shaping the tone. So really, all I use is that distortion, the reverb, and the delay. There's not a ton more pedals that you need. So if you were going to start a small board, just get a good overdrive pedal, a good reverb pedal, a good one, because reverb can sound cheesy and it can sound So I would get one of the 2 that I have on my board. I've done a lot of research. If you're going for inexpensive, so you can buy like really expensive reverb pedals like the Blue Sky or the Sky pedal or whatever they call it, and they're expensive, and I think that probably sound amazing. But I think these sound just as good. I mean, I think when you turn them on and use them right. So I focus on that. Get a decent reverb pedal, not like a $10 one, but you don't have to buy a $600 one either. The digital RV5 is only like $100. So And then anything like the Ibanez Tube Screamer on the front, just to give yourself some tone. And you got to marry the tone with the guitar, with the pickups. That's the key. The pickups and the overdrive is kind of like the heart of it. And then as you send it out of there, you're going to send your signal into some reverb and some delay, which is going to be a couple hundred, like $100 each. So for like $300, you could buy 3 pedals that would be completely amazing if you put it into the right amp. And then the next pedal I think I'm going to try to buy, which is kind of expensive for my pedal taste, is $399, which, you know, it's not bad, but it's probably going to be one of the most expensive pedals on the board, if not the most. When I look down at my pedal board, I do believe that would be the most expensive pedal. So $399 is the Iridium. It's the sort of direct box amp simulator pedal, and it is amazing. So it would make this sound really good through direct, and that's what it is. You can get rid of your amp and everything like that. So I think I might do that for the studio, but also when I go to church. The amp is cool, but it's not my amp, and I always have to plug into somebody's amp. I'd like it if I could just say, here, plug into this, and it was the Iridium, and it was always good. I've always liked amps, though. I've always liked to just turn on the amp, crank it up, and feel the tone. So I think the Iridium would be good. It's more like a amp simulator. A lot of the session guys use them. I know one of our guys uses it, and he likes it better than the amp. I don't blame him, because he knows exactly what he's going to get, and it sounds better through his in-ears. So that's it for my my thought process on my guitar pedal. If you left me comments on my live stream today, then I will answer them after the live stream. My computer's way over there, so I can't even get comments. Hear how the tone changes just from my pickups. That's my bridge. Go to my neck here. So I'll just jam out this. You can always subscribe to any of the groups I have. The new group is Volunteer Worship Leaders. So I'm going to be sharing my volunteer worship leader journey there. That's it. Yeah, I guess I'm live. Are you live?
Wait, you're live.
I'm live. So that's Augie. He came in. Want to say hi, Augie?
Hi.
All right. So check out the channel. I'm gonna go do something else. It's super nice out. I'm gonna go do something else now. So like the video on the channel. Share it with your friends and make sure you join the new groups and just stick around. If you want to know more about my pedalboard, check out my YouTube channel where I actually post a lot of videos in the past about them, and I have a whole course on electric guitar playing. So go take it out. See you later.